2018 is coming to a close, and though I haven't reviewed a ton of games this year, I've played quite a few. I feel a great way to close out the year is by telling you the best ones I've experienced, in hopes that you might find something worth picking up and checking out. Unlike last year, I'm sticking to games released in 2018, so with that, let's get going. This is Retro Impressions Best Games of 2018. Any game that I considered for this list is one that I played for a significant amount of time or beat this calendar year. I'll be running through the list in no particular order. Return to the Obra Dinn is the second commercial release by independent developer Lucas Pope of Papers, Please fame. You take on the role of an insurance adjuster tasked with discovering the fate of a ship called the Obra Dinn, which went missing in 1802, later washing ashore in 1807 with its entire crew either missing or dead. It's one of the most artistically stunning games of the year, as it replicates the early 1-bit look used in the first graphical computer games. You have nothing to go on but are given a group photo of everyone on board, along with a watch that allows you to hear the last few seconds of a person's life and see their moment of death. The player must determine each person's name along with their fate. Getting this right gives an incredible feeling of accomplishment because getting it right isn't a straightforward task. Oftentimes, you'll need to understand what different jobs on the ship entail and make an educated guess based on locations and circumstances in relations to other events that you've already witnessed. It's a carefully crafted experience that doesn't take its players for fools, and the reward of getting the details right, along with the fascinating story that unfolds in an incredibly unique way, make it a game I guarantee you'll remember for years to come. I remember playing God of War for the first time on the PSP and really couldn't get into it. About 2 hours in, the game came out, and never saw my system again. I had low expectations and high hopes watching the trailer for its PS4 debut, but forgot I pre-ordered it until it arrived at my door. Maybe the reason I like it so much is it's so far removed design-wise from the original games. It's not that it adds anything new, but it's now an action-adventure game more similar in tone to Horizon Zero Dawn rather than a hack-and-slash the series was known for. The gameplay is fantastic, with nothing overstaying its welcome before the next new mechanic is introduced. The story is also the best of any game I played in 2018, if not the best of any this current console generation. It's a must-own, must-play experience that is about as close to perfection as I've ever seen. The Hex opens in a bar with a phone call taken by the bartender. There's going to be a murder, and one of the patrons is the killer. The Hex was developed by Daniel Mullins, who also did the incredible Pony Island. Unfortunately for the Hex, it's impossible to talk about and try to sell you on playing this game without potentially spoiling what makes it so incredible. Just trust me, it's the most unique game on this list, and I promise there's no way you won't enjoy it, as long as you enjoy a fantastic narrative-driven experience. I think it's important to note that Tetris is one of my all-time favorite games, with the original Game Boy version being near the top. It's a hard concept to mess up, yet often I feel it's packaged into something not too special that's more of an effort to copy the board game method of releasing games for new platforms, leaving little reason or desire to put down the Game Boy version I grew up with. Tetris Effect for the PS4 is the first game I feel transcends this issue. It combines the progressive music game genre as seen in Shapes and Sounds with Tetris. That's to say that the music is directly linked to the action on screen. It's masterfully done as it should be, considering it was developed by the same team behind Rez and Luminous. If you like Tetris, there's no reason not to buy this game. I really love the Katamari series, so when I heard about a new game called Donut County, which essentially started as an inverse Katamari game, I was curious. You play as a raccoon named BK who's running a donut shop that ends up delivering holes rather than actual donuts that customers are ordering. The goal of the game is to move the hole around, consuming everything on the map. The story itself is so-so, but the gameplay is quite delightful and original, making for a fun experience to sit down and relax to. A game worth playing through if you're looking for something short to accomplish in a lazy afternoon. There's been a lot said about Celeste, and rightfully so, but I'll still try to keep this short. The story about a girl's journey to the top of a mountain that gives subtle nods to those who struggle with mental health is excellent. It's a hard-as-nails platformer that does something interesting by letting the player adjust every setting imaginable to make the game as difficult as one might desire. It's a huge plus because a game like this will, without a doubt, alienate the vast majority of players who pick it up before they ever reach the end game. It's a very well designed game from top to bottom, helping it to stand out among a pile of retro platformers hitting the market and looking to occupy a portion of your time. Moss is best described as a triumph in VR storytelling, built around a solid but short action platformer. It's not that the story itself is worth writing home about, but the package as a whole is executed to absolute perfection. The story follows the adventures of a mouse named Quill and places you in the environment as a spiritual being who oversees the entire journey. You not only control Quill, but you also can influence the environment. I found myself completely drawn into the experience, giving my mouse companion compliments and high fives from beneath the hood. The level design is fantastic, as is the pacing. As I get older, I have a particular appreciation for shorter games that get to the point rather than drawing out the experience with monotonous tasks. It's a game that convinces the player that they're part of the experience, and in my opinion, the best full VR experience to date. I've never been a fan of the roguelike experience, but when FTL came out, I was hooked, dumping countless hours into the game in an effort to see and unlock it all. In a year that should be considered a triumph of the sophomore release, Subset Games has another winner with Into the Breach. This turn-based strategy is a mix of Live Die Repeat and Nintendo's Advanced Wars. Aliens have destroyed the Earth and you're sent back in time to try to save it. Expect to lose a lot. If you lose without dying, you can bring one person back with you to the present time, then send them back with a new team to try again. It's a very well designed, well thought out game with enough unlockables and content to keep you playing for some time. As someone who's talked at length about early Spider-Man games, it should come as no surprise that Spider-Man on PS4 made the list. It is, in my opinion and without question, the quintessential Spider-Man experience on any console across all gaming generations. It has everything I ever wanted, including a solid storyline, great movement, and a fluid action system giving you complete control over how you take down random thugs. Though I've never been to New York, it looks to be an extremely detailed recreation of the city, and exploring that as Spider-Man is about as good as it gets. It feels a little odd having 2 VR games on my list, but with a game like Astrobot Rescue, it would be almost criminal not to include it. It feels almost silly to explain a VR game because they have to be experienced to be appreciated. Astrobot Rescue is a very clever, fun, and charming platformer that couldn't be made for any other platform other than VR or in any other country but Japan. It's similar to Moss as it's a platforming experience where you are in the center of the action. However, Moss is more focused on puzzles, whereas Astrobot Rescue is a pure traditional platforming experience very similar to what you would expect picking up a Rayman game. If you're into that, then you're doing yourself a disservice by not playing through Astrobot Rescue. Let me know in the comments what your favorite games of 2018 were, along with anything you feel I should check out. Until next year, I'm Jenovi, and this is Retro Impressions. That's it for now. I hope you've enjoyed this episode. Feel free to leave a positive or negative comment letting me know your thoughts. If you would like to chat or keep up to date on channel related news, follow me on Twitter at Jenovi. And until next time, you've been watching Retro Impressions.